You love your dog like family, maybe even more. You've shared quiet mornings, long walks, and countless meals. So when those eyes beg at the table, how can you not share a bite? It feels like love. But what if that bite was slowly damaging your dog's liver? The liver doesn't cry for help. It works until it can't. And here's the truth. Liver disease is one of the top silent killers in older dogs, and what they eat matters more than you think. Many caring owners just like you are unknowingly feeding foods that look harmless, but build up toxic stress inside the liver. In this video, I'll show you 8 common foods that could quietly be harming your dog. Especially number 7, it's probably in your kitchen right now. Let's begin with the first one. Chocolate and cacao silent toxin attack. It starts with something simple. You break off a tiny piece of chocolate, just a sliver, and offer it like a gift. Their eyes light up. That tail wags like a thank you. In that moment, it feels like you've shared something human, something sweet, something special. But inside their body, something very different begins. You see, chocolate holds a secret, a bitter one. The darker it is, the deadlier it becomes. Hidden within are chemicals called theobromine and caffeine, harmless to us, but like poison to your dog's liver. Unlike humans, dogs can't flush it out. Their liver tries desperately to break it down, but it can't keep up. So the toxins stay. They build. Day by day, bite by bite, they quietly overwhelm the organ that filters their blood balances. Their chemistry protects their life. You won't see it right away. Just a little more panting. A restless night. Maybe some vomiting. Then, one day, the liver gives out. And here's the chilling part. Just 1 ounce of dark chocolate can be fatal for a small dog. It doesn't matter if it's Valentine's Day, a birthday, or just a little piece to make them smile. The liver doesn't care about the occasion. Only the poison. Still want to share something sweet. There's a safer way. Carob treats look just like chocolate, and smell like it too, but without the deadly cost. And if chocolate can harm them this quietly, what about the second food one that hides in almost every savory meal we eat? Let's talk about what happens when dogs eat onions, garlic, and everything in between. You've probably cooked with them your whole life. The scent of garlic sizzling in the pan, onions softening into sweetness, that smell feels like home. And when your dog waits nearby, nose twitching, tail swaying, you might think a little taste won't hurt. But that familiar warmth in our kitchen hides a danger their body can't fight. Inside every onion and clove of garlic lies a compound called thiosulfate. To us, it's harmless, even healthy. But to a dog, it's a slow burn from the inside out. The moment it enters their blood, it starts quietly destroying their red blood cells, the tiny couriers that carry oxygen, the breath of life itself. And when those cells die, the liver has to clean up the wreckage. It works harder and harder, scrubbing the bloodstream of what's left. Until one day, it can't. You won't notice it at first. Maybe your dog seems tired after dinner, sleeps longer, drinks more water. Then one morning, you spot it. The gums once pink and full of life, now pale like fading petals. That's the liver whispering for help, one breath at a time. And here's the part most people never realize. Even a small spoonful of sautéed onion or garlic hidden in sauces, soups, or baby food can tip the balance. It doesn't take much to begin the slow, invisible damage. If love is in the meals we share, then true love means protecting them from the things their body can't understand. Because what comforts us can destroy them. And if something as gentle as a home-cooked meal can harm a liver, what about something sharper? Something that splinters when it breaks? Let's move to the third culprit. the one we grew up thinking every dog was born to chew bones. There's an image we all carry from childhood, a dog in the yard happily chewing a big meaty bone. It feels natural, almost poetic. Bones and dogs like rain and puddles. They belong together. But what if I told you? That image can turn deadly the moment the oven gets involved. When bones are cooked, whether from roast chicken ribs or soup, they change. They become brittle. And instead of wearing down gently between teeth, they splinter like glass. Your dog doesn't know the difference. They see a gift. They feel your love in every chew. But inside those sharp shards can travel a path of destruction, tearing through the throat, the stomach, or the intestines. And when that happens, the damage doesn't end in the gut. Because once infection begins, once the belly swells with pain and bacteria leak where they were never meant to be, the liver is the first to respond. It's the guardian, the cleaner, the shield. It tries to stop the invasion. It fights with everything it has. But sometimes even the strongest shields crack. Peritonitis, sepsis, organ failure. It can all begin with a leftover bone from dinner. And the hardest part, your dog won't show it right away. They may wag. They may sleep. Then suddenly, they cry when you touch their belly. They stop eating. Their eyes tell you something's wrong. If you ever shared a cooked bone even out of love, don't feel shame. Feel empowered. Now you know better. And there are safe alternatives, raw, meaty bones large enough they can't swallow. Chew toys designed to protect, not pierce. But what if the danger doesn't come with a crunch, but with a creamy smile? Let's look at number 4. The rich, fatty foods that taste like love, but ignite a fire deep inside. It starts so innocently. A piece of bacon at breakfast, a bit of chicken skin after dinner, a creamy spoonful of ice cream on a hot afternoon. Their eyes shine, they lick your hand, and for a moment, you feel like the world's best friend. It feels right, doesn't it? Because food is love. But inside your dog's body, that love can turn into fire. Not a fire you can see, a silent one burning behind the ribs where the liver and pancreas live side by side. When fat floods their system, the pancreas panics. It starts releasing enzymes meant to digest food, but instead, they begin digesting them. The inflammation spreads, and the liver, their tireless guardian, rushes in to clean the damage. Yet as it works to protect it, too becomes wounded. You might notice it as nothing more than a strange stillness. Your dog lying there head low, refusing a meal they once loved. Maybe they stretch forward, belly pressed to the floor, as if praying for the pain to end. That's pancreatitis whispering and the liver crying along with it. The cruel thing is, this isn't a single moment mistake. It's a slow betrayal. A little here, a taste there, until the liver can no longer filter the storm. If you've ever shared your breakfast with them, don't feel guilt, feel grace. Because knowing is the beginning of saving. From now on, love can look like a slice of boiled chicken or a crisp bit of carrot, clean, simple, safe. But what if sweetness itself could strike next? What if something made to taste like sugar was hiding a toxin even more dangerous? Let's move to number 5, the treat that pretends to be kind but quietly kills from the inside: xylitol. It's the kind of thing we keep in our pockets, in our desk drawers, in the glove box of the car. A sugar-free mint, a piece of gum, a jar of healthy peanut butter with that friendly label, no sugar added. We reach for it, thinking of our teeth, our waistline, our blood sugar. And sometimes we even share it. Just a little lick, a swipe on a toy, a reward wrapped in trust. But what we don't see is the ambush that follows. Xylitol, the sweetener behind the smile, doesn't act sweet inside a dog's body. It's a trigger, sharp and immediate. It tells the pancreas, Emergency release insulin now, and their blood sugar crashes hard and fast. But that's just the beginning. In some dogs, the liver goes into full crisis. The cells that filter heal, protect, they begin to die off, quietly, without fever or sound. Until one day the yellow tinge creeps into their eyes, their gums, their skin. You notice, but it feels like it came from nowhere. And here's the terrifying truth. It doesn't take much. One stick of gum, one spoonful of diet peanut butter, even a child's vitamin. Xylitol doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't warn you. It just acts. But now you know. And love once again means stepping gently, reading every label, double-checking every treat, and knowing that not all sweetness is kind. But what if the danger doesn't come from what's added, but from something nature never meant them to eat? What if the threat grew in silence, hidden in a bag of old kibble or a forgotten jar in the pantry? Let's talk about number 6, the invisible poison called aflatoxin. This one doesn't smell. It doesn't spoil in the way you'd expect. It hides quietly in the shadows of the pantry, in an old bag of kibble, a forgotten treat, a handful of peanuts you never meant to share, but did anyway. And that's what makes it so dangerous. Aflatoxin is a silent killer. It's a toxin produced by mold, especially the kind that grows on grains, corn, and nuts. You can't see it, you can't taste it. But once inside your dog's body, it heads straight for the liver like a thief in the night. There it begins its work. It doesn't break windows or shout alarms. It simply settles in damaging liver cells bit by bit until the organ that filters, protects, and heals can do none of those things. And then the symptoms arrive suddenly, terribly, like a curtain pulled open on a scene already set. Loss of appetite, vomiting, yellowing eyes, a belly that bloats, a heartbeat too slow, and the heartbreaking part. It often comes not from what you gave, but from what you didn't know was spoiled. A bag left just a little too long. A batch of food not properly stored. The liver is resilient, yes, but it is not invincible. And if something so small, so invisible, can do this much damage, what about something we've always believed was essential? Something our own bodies need, but theirs may quietly suffer from. Let's move to number 7. It's not a toxin, it's a mineral. One they need, but not in the amounts they're getting. Let's talk about copper. Copper sounds safe, doesn't it? It's a trace mineral, a nutrient, something their bodies need just like ours. It's in their food listed right there on the label, and we trust it because it feels responsible, balanced, scientific. But even the kindest intentions can go too far. Inside your dog's body, copper doesn't always leave when it's supposed to. For some breeds, for some dogs, it begins to stay, quietly, day after day, meal after meal. It settles into the liver like dust in corners no one checks. At first, the liver handles it. That's what it does. It stores, filters, protects. But over time, as copper builds, it shifts from passenger to poison. It begins to scar the liver from within. Little by little, the tissue stiffens. The blood flows slower. The cells cry out. You won't see it at first. Maybe your dog becomes more tired after walks, eats less, seems moody. Then, one morning, the whites of their eyes aren't white anymore. They glow yellow, soft, then sudden. And you wonder, how did this happen? The truth, it may have been building for months, even years, from treats, kibbles, even premium formulas, too rich in copper for their breed, their body, their fate. Labradors, Bedlingtons, Dobermans, they carry this risk like a secret, and unless we look, we won't see it coming. But now, you can. Because when you know what's hiding in the bowl, You can choose better. Still, what if the danger isn't hidden in labels, but sprouting wild right in your own backyard? Let's talk about number 8. And the mushrooms that grow in silence. They grow overnight. In shady corners of the yard, under trees, where the grass stays damp in the places your dog loves to sniff, wild mushrooms rise like little umbrellas after rain. Harmless to us, sometimes even beautiful. But to your dog, some of them are death in disguise. The danger isn't in how they look. It's in what they carry. Certain mushrooms contain toxins that don't just upset the stomach, they go straight for the liver. And not slowly. Fast. Ruthless. Precise. Just a nibble. That's all it takes. A bite on a morning walk, a taste while chasing a squirrel, a curious lick on the edge of a flower bed. Within hours, the liver begins to break down. At first, they might just seem tired, a little off. Then comes vomiting, diarrhea, drooling, and suddenly their body floods with toxins it cannot process. The liver, their tireless guardian, starts to shut down. And here's the cruel twist. The worst symptoms often wait until it's almost too late. For some mushrooms, the real damage doesn't appear until 24, even 48 hours later. You might not even remember the moment they found it. But your dog's body remembers, so check your yard, watch the trails, teach them, leave it like their life depends on it, because one day it might. And if you ever see them eat a mushroom, don't wait. Don't Google. Don't guess. Just go. Because now you've seen how fragile the liver really is, how quietly it suffers, how bravely it protects. And maybe, just maybe, the greatest act of love is the danger you never let happen. Now you know. 8 everyday foods, some sweet, some savory, some hiding in plain sight that could quietly, slowly steal years from your dog's life. But today, you took a step. You chose to learn. You chose to protect. That's what love really is, isn't it? Not just the cuddles and wagging tails, but the quiet decisions. The ones no one sees. The ones that say, I won't let you hurt. Not if I can help it. So take what you've learned and look around your home with new eyes. You may not be able to change the past, but you can absolutely shape the years ahead. And if this video helped you feel closer, wiser, more prepared, then stay, subscribe, be part of this journey with me, because the more we understand, the better we love. And your dog, they deserve nothing less.